Let's go.
Welcome back to the Late Night Labs podcast. It's been a minute. A solid minute at least.
It's been almost a year.
It's been a while.
Well, because it was July was the last time. Was it we recorded or last time we posted was July?
We recorded Super Bowl, then we recorded Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving.
But I don't think any of them made the cut. I think
No,
it's
they're.
been,
I mean, I have them and they're ready. They need edited. And I suck at. Editing sucks.
Yeah.
You have to spend like 2 hours listening over the same clips over and over again, just getting rid of quiet pauses. And then, like, if you have stuff you need to take out, like if someone says certain words over and over again, it's gone.
Or actually doxes people or gives away personal information. I've seen you can do it's not editing, but basically you transcribe. And so they have like complexity levels, right? So you can have a podcast with 8 people in it, right?
Right.
And it'll pay like $1 an hour more than a video of one person doing a monologue. But it takes like 4 hours to do like a 15-minute video, and you get paid like nothing because you get paid per video.
Oh, shit.
So this dude was like, I'm gonna see if I can, get more than a minimum wage job, and he made $4 an hour and spent an entire day listening and editing YouTube videos.
Yeah, sounds ass.
Yeah, couldn't do it. There's a lot of stuff like that, right? Where you would hope you could get paid for spending so much of your day doing something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that you my fire pit out there you saw
Mm-hmm.
the other day, that probably took me 4 hours to do, and that was $100 worth if I had to put out there. And I feel like I was at least $150 worth of labor. I feel like I earned that much.
But you at least get something, right? Like
Yeah.
so I just started at Ohio State, right, and going for the summer, and Bowling Green.
I don't think we introduced ourselves.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Christian. I'm the host.
Am I an official host / founder or not?
No, it's just me, Devin,
Devin.
and Caleb. I think we're kicking off Caleb and promoting Ryan. Just 'cause
Ryan?
it's funny.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Just
Ryan's an idiot. He's also about 10 feet away from us sleeping. He's on the other side of this wall.
yeah. Was it? Oh, like
OSU.
OSU, yeah. So I transferred my classes, and they're like, oh, there's about 9 classes that don't count. So you have to call BGSU,
Yeah.
and then get the syllabus of the exact class, section, time, and like semester that you took it, because it's different for everyone. So like, let's say fall of 2022, they had like 8 different ones depending on like the day of the week, or like maybe the time slot it was in, or how many times. It's stupid.
Yeah.
So I had to call 8 different department heads to even get the phone numbers of the people that I needed to call. And I need to call 9 people. So I was driving, and I typically do this stuff when I'm driving because it's like I can't really do anything. So I put down
Yeah.
call. I wrote it all down ahead of time, and it was just like, not here. Oh, can you write down my email and email me? It's like, you have my information. You can just do it. But it's like I spent probably like 2 full work days doing that, and I got nothing for it. Like not even the information I wanted. And
It's just nothing.
nothing at all. Nothing to show for it.
People just suck in general.
Mm.
They avoid it. It's bad.
It's like I usually don't. I think I'm more patient with customer service nonsense than most people, but like, it's too much sometimes. But
Yeah.
my fiance says that I'm patient. I don't feel patient, but Gwen is like, she thinks that that's like one of my good qualities.
You're patient. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think I've ever been with a situation. You are very friendly to people. You just walk up, you see a stranger, and you're just kind of like, "Yo, what's up? Here's the deal. We're BFFs. I had your problem."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just start talking to people, and then I guess that counts as I don't know if that counts as patient.
Well, I don't make a lot of problems with people. Like I feel like I just deal with it.
Yeah, Kind of what I try to do. Like, I try to solve my own problems.
Mm. Interesting that you'd say that I'm nice to people though, because so you would say I'm social,
Yeah, you're social.
and I don't think sometimes I come off wrong. Like I have some,
Yes. Yeah.
I have some weird like mannerisms and other stuff like that, and I get to just say it's because I was raised by a single Spanish woman, right? And that's it just excuses.
Yeah.
Because there are some cultural differences.
No, you can't. I don't think you can pull a cultural difference.
No, I can pull cultural differences.
I don't think you can.
No, hold on.
No, because like your socialisms, like there are people, your mannerisms that you say are weird, is like Noah's ex-girlfriend thought you called her a land whale and hated your guts.
But I didn't. Well, that wasn't even a misunderstanding. That's awesome. No, it was Drew called her fat, just straight up. And I was like, hold on, dude. And she's like, did he just call me that? And then Noah didn't drop it for like ever. He actually still gives me credit for it, which it's a positive now. But
yeah,
it wasn't.
But you know,
It wasn't
your fault.
But no, okay, so like
there's a lot of people that just don't like you.
But I don't think. I think it's because it takes like either you like me right away or like you have to just like understand, and then you like
if you're an authority figure, you hate Gabe. Name one authority figure that's liked you.
Actually, my professor Vern loves me.
That's one professor. How many teachers have you had?
Hold on, Vern.
How many teachers have you had?
Vern has the exact same energy as me when he teaches class.
Go.
And I love Vern, but it's like okay, so my mom's eccentric. I would call it. And in the similar way to me, where she just she just will go and she'll sit down and she will just say exactly what needs to be said in like 5 words, right? No, like chit chat, nothing. And I'll do the same thing. And I piss a lot of people off sometimes. And a lot of my mannerisms do come from my mother, whether it's cultural or not. Because she grew up in Peru.
You don't have much of a filter.
Yeah. But I really, because she grew up in South America. And I do.
You didn't.
I know, but I'm saying a lot. If you spend a day with my mom and a day with me, you would see.
It's awful. I've done that before. It's actually awful.
But no, you're good.
Do you remember Solo and Ensemble? Me and Preston came over to your house, and then like instead of like you play like a little bit of like zombies, I think, and then all of a sudden you started showing us like horror comics online. You're like, isn't this really cool? And then we're like, what the hell? And then you put us in a room that had like little pirate ships on it for Captain Spencer. We went to bed. It was like the weirdest night of our lives.
I have like no recollection of that, but I do remember Captain Spencer.
I remember, yeah, Captain Spencer happy. You were like showing us weird manga shit. And I was like, I don't know, man.
I will say a lot of things that happen in middle school, high school that most people remember, I just like forget. And I don't know if it's because of the accident or not, which I would say probably.
I mean, also like as soon as tough stuff happens, you just don't remember as much.
It's just like, man.
If it's not important, you don't remember.
Just like making Mrs. Q cry, you know what I'm saying?
You don't remember that one, or
I do remember it very vividly.
Is that like the bearing updated? You know, that's like one of those big choices.
It was. I would say it's wholeheartedly deserved. The whole thing that happened.
Probably
because a lot of teachers overstepped. They're just like, "Oh, you're doing this wrong," right? Like
they just.
I made we were using hot pads for the first time, and I made a cremation joke. And it was like, because I went to school like the Monday after, right?
Yeah.
And already I was literally bombarded by the entire town. Like they're like, let's go to church with you, right? So you can feel good. And then like literally everyone was just there, and everyone was like looking at me, and I was like, this literally it happened like yesterday. This is not it. Oh. So I already dealt with it, but then. We got cussed out a couple times by the teachers. And
it happens.
It happens. But I will say, not to like take the blame off myself, but they were so unprofessional and just completely nonchalant about being dicks. And the fact that me, a child, would react to them in a way that would make them cry should not be put on me. It should be put on them for
that reason happened.
Yeah. And then she just didn't teach class for
a little bit. It was a few class. There's a few periods that went by where nothing got done.
There were no words that were spoken. I've heard there were no words that were spoken until like lunch break.
It was kind of like sit down, do whatever.
Yeah. I was like pissed because she failed me on that lab that
She
day.
failed you on that.
Yeah, I was like confused by a question and I wanted to ask her.
But you know, she's already in tears.
Yeah. And then like I wasn't, because she didn't let me participate in the lab itself. And then she took me away from my group. So that shouldn't have happened because it wasn't my fault. I literally could not do the lab. She didn't let me.
I mean, it's not like you needed it anyways.
Yeah.
You're at OSU.
But okay, but socially I'm okay. I can handle myself, and I don't know. I don't feel like I use like crutches socially, right? I just sort of like exist, and I'm fine. So I proposed over.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I forget. Yeah, don't remember when I. Oh.
Yeah.
April.
You forget how you proposed?
I just was trying to think of the date.
Okay.
It was in April, so it wasn't summer. I was gonna say over the summer, but no, it didn't. Not in the summer.
No.
But okay, so she has a family, and so it was very interesting to me because she has a twin, and then she has 2 older sisters, and then a mother and a father, right?
Yeah.
And so her twin hated me like for so long. Like when we were out in Colorado together, her twin was just like, don't like you, and I was just like, why? Like I don't even like know you, and
yeah.
She said that she didn't even have a reason, she just didn't like me. I want to say it was because her twin did the thing where it was like, oh, I'm tough, I'm over it, and my friend, he sort of like blew her off. It's kind of a dick move the way he did it, but like they were not quite romantically involved, but they were like talking.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, I'm done. And he can be kind of a dick to girls because he'll like lead girls on and be like, no, I don't. And he's very flip-floppy, but he did it to her, and she's like, oh, I'm fine. And because she was just like, oh, I don't even care about it, I thought that she really didn't. And so she found out from me very nonchalantly talking about how, I just talked to him the other day about a date he went on, and she was livid. She was very mad.
But she associated you with it.
But it's not my fault.
It's not your fault, but you associated with it. I think a lot of the times when people don't like you, it's like you just share whatever information that you know of, and like I think it hasn't spread all the way around, and then you're just the bearer of bad news.
I guess
it's not your fault, but you're just associated with all the bad shit that just got said.
But I also think it comes down to like I trust people when they're just like publicly saying something, right? Like what reason would I have to believe that you're lying to make yourself feel better? That's a weird thing. That's something you should work on. So when you're like, oh, I'm completely, that'd be like when I got dumped in college by a girl who started dating somebody before she even broke up with me. If I went around telling people, oh, I'm completely okay, I have no feelings for it at all, and they're like, oh, well, that's great news because she's been dating this dude for like a month at this point. And it's like, oh, well, I got dumped 3 weeks ago. But I don't care. No, I was absolutely not okay.
I know.
And it was like, she ruined an episode of Clone High. And
that episode of Clone High, it will never be the same. I don't remember what was happening, to be honest.
It was Cleopatra and Joan of Arc were living together. And
remember,
it was like right after the line where she was talking about how Cleopatra was stuffing her bra. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I just sort of trust people on their word. And then when I betray them by believing that what they told me was the truth, then they get upset because I should have known.
You should have known.
So, I don't know. I think that...
maybe you just don't read people as well as some other people think
I think I'm decent at reading people, but when people tell me something, it's sort of like you can deal with the consequences if you're not telling me the truth.
Okay.
But anyway, so she didn't like me. And then her older sister, not her oldest one, but she was pregnant at the time when we met. And she said I was... I think she used the word boring. I don't know, but she said that my voice was monotone and that I had no inflection and that she couldn't like see how Gwen could like stand me. And I was like, I feel like
calling you boring is a very interesting way to go through that.
I feel like I'm not, I think I'm interesting, but to call me like monotone and just like plain is like so not correct.
It's more like that hint stuff. It's kind of more like, here's what happens. Okay, we're going through. You're doing your monotones over cracking jokes. You get a face. You smile. You do this like little thing, and then you say the most off the handle shit I've ever heard. It's like, we're gonna go break into a fucking Sears. Like, yeah.
But okay, here's the thing. I have gotten so many people in trouble by just making that face, and I never had any disciplinary action taken towards me in high school. And
It's that face that gets you.
And then it always works too.
You're like,
Because, like, you could never prepare.
but like the one time where you're in Wendy's and the drive-through.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
No. There was a reason behind me saying it. I just didn't think it through before happening. That's okay.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. So she didn't like me. She had a very bad first impression. And she was very pregnant. And so, like, she was constantly stopping to have cramps and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so she was in an awful mood. So her first interaction, though, didn't like me. But then I got to meet the rest of her family. So this included her 2 older sisters are married. So I met the hubbies. And then I met the dad and the mum. And so dad, okay, I thought it was going off to a great start. So I have my private pilot's license, right?
Yeah.
And he happens to own a plane because he's rich. So he was a colonel in the Air Force, flew the big planes, whatever, and he was ecstatic. He's like, we're going to go flying. And he's like, do you want to help me fly a plane? It was like, it seemed like I was the son that he never got to have type of thing. I did something on my own accord that he was interested in. I knew everything he was talking about. And while he knew I knew what I was doing, he still explained everything way too much to me, and it was kind of annoying. But we flew, we had a great time, and he raved about it for a while. But then after Christmas, he was just like, man, I really just thought that Gabe was an awful fit, right?
Yeah.
And they were just like, the entire family was like, he's just inappropriate. I don't think he knows how to manage social situations. He doesn't understand this and that. And I was like, this is so confusing, because like on a wide scale, I'm pretty much normal or above average in terms of social competency. Like I'm good.
Say so.
And the reason is because I don't do small talk or banter. That's just like BS. I hate it. The only time I do it is at my job when I'm getting paid to do it.
Right.
But so like it came to, I found this out when I asked for the blessing. And so I called him and I said, hey, sorry, I'm not like super good at small talk or whatever, so I'm just going to like get to the bread and butter. And I was like, I want to marry your daughter. Can I have your blessing? And this is probably like 32 seconds into the phone call.
Yeah.
And he was just, wow, I'm shocked. And he was just like, yeah, I just didn't think you were a good fit, so I'm going to have to like think about it. And I was just like, oh, that's crazy. So he didn't answer me. And then his wife called all of her sisters and then told her sisters, oh, it's okay, he has the blessing. But the only people that didn't know that were Gwen and I, because Gwen subsequently had to find out that I even asked because of what he said.
Right.
And this whole time, they didn't like me because I didn't play the whole like, oh, I'm gonna small talk and inflate their ego and laugh at the jokes or whatever else. and so I got the blessing, it was whatever, and then so that was December.
Yeah.
Next time we saw them was actually right like the week after I proposed. So I proposed. It was great. The ring is bigger than the mom's. I'm not even kidding. The rock's bigger. And Melissa had to tell them that it was a fake diamond to make them like feel better because her dad.
Is it fake or is it?
It was lab grown, but it's real.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like $500 cheaper than the same size real diamond. But
okay.
So he was like, I have seen his finances and I know he cannot afford the ring. He was like super pissed. Like, how is he doing this? And super concerned that what I was doing.
Right.
Was like, I did something wrong. Or, oh, it's not.
God damn, why would you buy her a nice ring?
I know. I was like, the same
fuck is wrong with you?
Same thing with Al. Her dad was like, oh, how can he afford this car? Was he a drug dealer? And I was just like, oh, because I guess I'm just not allowed to own anything nice. But.
Damn.
So we saw them. And so I guess I started on the wrong foot by saying that I paid for the venue that her and I both liked on a date that we liked, right?
Yeah.
But I said the words, which you can tell me if this is wrong, but I said, I booked the venue and I booked it for this day. So they said, oh, so he picked the venue and he decided the day and everything and he just didn't talk to you about it. Is what they got from that.
I mean, the only way to make them happy is said we did this.
Yeah, but
like,
I was just like, how would I?
There's no way to predict that they're going to be bitches about it.
Yeah, so they said that they were busy that day.
It's like you're busy for your daughters.
Yeah, the daughter's wedding in a year too. It was exactly a year heads up type of thing. So
shit.
Yeah, so that was a whole ordeal. But I guess hindsight, maybe we shouldn't have done it. But we were playing Texas Hold'em, and her oldest sister and her oldest sister's husband were literally screaming at each other. Dad did not give a shit. Right? Was just like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And so I was playing, and I had so many bad hands, but the way that we started Texas Hold'em is we played another game bidding into it, right? So I had a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
And so I was just like throwing it out there, right? And I kept winning. I won like 5 hands in a row. And her dad was like, I don't think I registered that it was her dad when he said it, but I was leaning back, just tossing my chips in, and he's like, hey, not everybody has that much money to bid. And I said, I'm too rich to care. Not my problem. Right? Because we were playing Texas Hold'em. I was winning.
Yeah.
I literally done. So we were playing with like nickels, dimes, quarters.
Right.
I donated $5 to my man Perry, and I still had more money than everyone else. Like I was just winning.
Penny poker.
And it was like he was so mad that I was. I don't know if it was because I was winning, because I don't know if he's a sore loser, but it was like I was winning. I was just like, yeah, whatever, haha. I'm literally the best.
We've played poker before. We don't give a fuck.
It's just like, and I was having a great time.
Yeah.
He wasn't. So we come to find out that he was gonna be in Vegas, right, for a work thing. When the wedding was, except for he didn't believe that ever because it wasn't true, and the work thing in Vegas was in February, and nothing has ever been scheduled for April, and he just lied.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so then when we found that out, because the mom is like secret agent type beat, and it's super sick sometimes, because most of the time she isn't, but so she comes in with this like intel, and Gwen.
So the mom likes you, or
I think you can never trust the mom what she says. By the way.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the best.
Mm-hmm. But Gwen literally, like, it was like the most boss thing that I think I've ever seen her do. But she just like called him up and was like, "So I heard about all this bullshit, right? So the day that we picked is the day it's gonna be. You can show up if you want to, but if you're gonna miss it for whatever you're doing, and enjoy it." I was like, crazy.
Damn.
And then there was some backlash, and she told them when they were talking about how it was a bad influence, she was like, as if you guys have ever been an example of what a marriage should look like. And I was just like,
damn.
I was like, shit, dude. I was like, I can't say that I'm tearing them apart, but like, I'm kind of encouraging this behavior because they're being like the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've never showed up,
I was just like, I've met them twice. And they just did not like me. And
you're the marriage record. Now everything, it's now on their eyes, it's kind of like, oh, we were happy until Gabe showed up.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna refer to people as numbers here. So there's the second oldest sister, the pregnant one. So she's 3, and then 3.2 is her husband, right?
Okay.
So 3 and 3.2 were the hated couple for a while, right?
Just the one that fights.
No, they're like the most chill people, right? They actually like 4 and 4.2 the best out of like everybody's relationship.
That's how it feels like. That's like stereotypical almost.
Yeah, but okay, so 3 and 3.2. So 3 broke the rules, right? She's not Catholic first. She moved ways, all, and so they like, I don't know, they like excommunicated her for a little bit, right? They didn't like cut her off, but they started treating her like shit pretty early. So then 3.2, who's like super chill, like I could probably bring him to like Thanksgiving, he would be like everyone's favorite immediately. Yeah. He's just chill. And so, it was to the point where apparently they tried telling 3 that like 3.2 was cheating on her or stuff like that when like there was no evidence for it. It was pretty sick.
Oh, fun. But yeah, that's what I do. For fun.
So everybody was comparing me and Gwen to 3 and 3.2. But then we like called them, right, for like, hey, we're dealing with this stuff. And we sort of heard that you guys probably did because you were the original like least favorite.
I think it's just people were happy.
And it's like,
People who aren't happy hate people who are happy.
yeah, and we're literally just vibing. Like we went from Bowling Green, and we're just like full send. We're gonna move to Columbus, right?
Yeah.
And we're vibing. Like she's from St. Louis,
Yeah.
and like all my family's in Dayton, so I like the city vibe a lot. And so we're vibing in Seabus, and it's like, the other one's playing it safe. They're just staying there, and we're just like, we're gonna live it up, right? We're gonna do our thing.
Yeah.
We look at some apartments, and we like calculated our budget,
Yeah.
and we found out that a penthouse on the 12th story of an in-city apartment is actually in our budget.
Actually, you were telling me about
Yeah,
that.
I was just like,
Yeah.
full send. They're all taken, sadly, but I was just like, we're gonna live life, big ballers. But we heard from 3.2 that they haven't dealt with half of what we have. And I was just like, that is great news, right? That
So
just
that
makes me
means-
feel so good, because I'm the only one that's ever gotten a no when asking for the blessing.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. And
Maybe they don't like. Well, maybe they don't like Melissa. Maybe she did something to piss them off.
I don't know.
Maybe you're caught in the crossfire.
Well, they wanted her to go into like a government job, and
Oh,
she's
shit.
just like, I'm gonna go into nonprofit work because that's what I want to do. No, it's
Yeah.
like, respect that, but they're like, where's the benefits? And I'm like, oh,
That's just people for money.
Mhm.
People who come from money. That's what they are. They like.
yeah. I was like, I don't give a shit about benefits. It's like, have I ever had money? No. No, you're right. No, I don't care. It's whatever. But it's great. It really just. He also, Dad made a weird comment about describing me and my family as like you people.
That's what?
And so I was like, there's like a tier list of like what it could be, and like first place of like the worst thing it could be is the fact that I'm Hispanic, right?
Right.
That's the worst. The second one, I think 2 and 3 are like basically tied. The fact that we're poor, or the fact that I was raised in a single mother household, because he doesn't like that. He said it's a bad example. So, but basically, no matter what it is, it's not good.
Nah, it doesn't sound like it.
So I don't know. I'm going with number 1 right now, because it helps me plead my case.
I mean, that seems less personal. Kind of maybe he just has had some bad gardeners.
I'm the only one that's not like, Miracle Whip. Except for 3.2, I don't know what he can speak Spanish, but he's also from Florida.
Oh, that's just. I think people in Florida speak Spanish because.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's not Miracle Whip either, and he's in second place for like, oh, we don't like him. But everyone likes him now because he's been there for a long time. But it's like at first it was like no, but
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too straightforward, strong headed. Because Dad's just like, oh, I'm a logical guy, right?
Yeah.
And
Money.
we had a conversation the other day because I was like, I don't want alcohol in the wedding. Which anyone who knows me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't do it. I don't drink. No, never will, never have. And couple things in my life have happened that would make me also not like alcohol.
Yeah. There's been incidents that.
Yeah, so I called him up and I was just like, it's not gonna happen. And he's like, oh wow, well, I think a lot of guests are gonna be disappointed. And I was trying to think. I don't think that's the expectation, because usually alcohol is expensive, right? And so like if you're trying to cheap out on a wedding, you don't get alcohol. But even then, if you go to a wedding, I feel like 90% of people are like, oh, free food.
I think sometimes it just depends. I mean, I know of some people, they're kind of like, "Where's the alcohol bar?" But I think I don't think it should be the thing people look forward to.
I just don't
It's
think
kind
it
of
is.
a fucking wedding. I don't think you should
It
be
is,
looking
yeah.
for the beer cart.
But so I told him, I was just like, my fiance agrees with me, and I'm not gonna speak for her, and but like just know we're in agreement. I'm not speaking for her. So any beliefs or opinions she has, you can talk to her about it. But I'm not gonna talk about her or what I think she might say about it. I'm gonna talk about me, right? My experience, because I'm calling you so that I don't have an audience, right? You can't take this out of context and be like, oh, bad man. I'm calling you for a 1v1, one-on-one. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
1v1.
Yeah. And so I told him about the incident and about my alcoholic figure in my life, and all the other stuff. And it was just like, he said, weird of you to like push your beliefs on anybody that would be going to the wedding. I was like, wow. Like that's
like whose wedding?
Okay, so I said that, right? I said it's our wedding. It was Melissa and I's wedding.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's your guys' ceremony, it's my reception. I'm hosting it. And I was like, that's crazy because nobody's coming there for you. Not a single person. And he's like, well, it doesn't even sound like you want me there. And so I had to go like customer service mode, and I was like, I don't know what we could have possibly said or have done to make you believe that. We want nothing more than for you to be there, but this is non-negotiable. There's just no way that there's any leeway. This is just how it's going to be. And so he kept talking, and so note, I'm 22, and he's like way older than 22.
At least way older.
And
at least 23.
So he kept talking, and I had to say, if this conversation is going to continue like this, then nothing productive is going to be done. If you don't want to talk to me in a respectful manner or have any amount of progress be made, I'm going to wait until you feel better about the conversation and have it with you later. And then I hung up.
Nice.
But I was like, why do I have to go like therapist mode?
Why do you have to be an adult?
Yeah, I was like, it's not my job to be an adult, right? I've had to adult too much in my life from the amount of stuff I've gone through.
I had to be an adult yesterday, yeah. I had to work, so I don't know if...
And it's just like, it kind of sucks a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want to all the time. Pretty good at being an adult sometimes. But, yeah.
That's fine. I have not had a problem at all like that.
I'm glad for you.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Like, Danielle's parents really like me. At least I can really tell the mom does. Dad, like, we shake hands, we talk shit, but like, it's always kind of weird. Like, does he actually go home and think that I'm a dickhead? Or yeah, so far I've only had good vibes.
Yeah. Any like extended family or anything like that you've met that you don't like?
Oh, I don't like. Yeah, there's been plenty. All like me though, because like I get along with people if I have to. I'm pretty good at that. I've never had a coworker or anything like who hates me. Hopefully Danielle doesn't watch this podcast. I doubt she will.
No, they don't support us.
I
really so Gwen, I don't think she'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, her parents don't know
about
it.
Yeah. And I'm not telling. I don't tell nobody.
Yeah, I'm not telling anyone about this. I mean, what? Let's just say 5 years down the road we make it, right?
We're big.
This is gone.
Nobody's looking at these because like the audio quality shit.
Yes, it's gone. It's bad. We're deleting it when we make it big.
We'll be like first 20 episodes gone.
Yeah,
easy.
I mean, we're literally gonna get canceled
because in 5 years it's only going to be 20 episodes.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm not going to use names. She has, I think this is technically a cousin. Preston's mom. Exactly like her. Just kind of like going, looks and sounds, right? Also goes like job to job.
But by sounds, do you mean like when she like?
Kind of like that Austin One Nut.
Oh
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about their family drama because it's not really anybody's business. But I was kissed by somebody, and they were trying to kiss me on the lips. I'm like, no. I was like, kind of like head down, eating my food. Everybody was like so embarrassed. It's like, no, get away from him. And like there was like a whole ordeal just because like I don't know what I did. I was just trying to be nice to people. And all of a sudden, there's like little girls trying to kiss me. It was weird. She asked if I was going to be her dad. It was just a downhill experience.
Wait, like in that game we were playing.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
Like how I wanted to...
Yeah. Moral question for the audience. So, there's a ghost in your house. But, the ghost was friendly. Let's say, overly friendly.
But, okay, she is young. like poltergeist age, right?
Yeah, but she was been dead for like, let's say, hundreds of years.
300 years to be
300,
exact.
yeah, 300 years. We're playing a game, guys. So not that I would or wouldn't, because I don't have a stance here.
Yeah.
It's just an open-ended question. Where's the morality?
Yeah, because okay, so age wise, she's old enough.
But you have to think: is she really wise? Wisdom, because like that's kind of like the big thing with sexist children. Because like one, they're pure, they're innocence, and like do dead 300 years girl ghosts maintain their innocence?
You know,
Not that I want to stress the fact. No, I will not do anything like this ever. It's just an open-ended moral. Like it's a trolley question.
yeah, but it's sort of like if the police can't like get there,
What? What?
like there's
What?
no one to defend, right? So like let's say
This is a ghost. I mean,
yeah, so like let's say somebody sees, even if they like can't they don't even see that there's a ghost, and they call the cops. It's like, what were you doing over there, right? They're they're not gonna.
there's no body.
Yeah, they're
No
not
body,
gonna.
no crime. I'm pretty sure that's a saying.
Yeah, so technically it's legal then, since it's a ghost.
But this is a morality question.
Well, laws often
Laws off.
bounce off.
Morals.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
yeah. There's another. I was thinking of one the other night. I could not remember it because we were. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. So we're watching this show, and this is a Spanish show, which means it's crazy. But basically,
yeah.
there's this girl. She's super hot. Of all of the Spanish girls, I think she's the hottest. But
Mhm.
Gwen disagrees. She thinks the other one's hot. Anyway, so her name's Rosie, and she married her. She was a housekeeper for this guy.
Yeah. Okay.
And his wife, right, was cheating on him, and so he starts sleeping with Rosie, right? And Rosie falls in love with this man, and then they get a divorce, and then Rosie marries her old boss. Okay,
Okay.
and they're in love, and she has a child, and the child gets a green card because they're married, and it's all beautiful and whatever.
Yeah.
But she keeps comparing him to her late husband Ernesto, who died 5 years ago fighting the drug cartel because he was a cop. Right? And
Yeah,
so,
okay.
so she loves Ernesto, had a kid with Ernesto, always compares everything that
So
the
you're not
boss
good enough.
does.
You're like, are you good enough as Ernest? Okay.
Ernesto's not dead. So Ernesto comes back and is like, "You're my wife." And like,
okay.
technically speaking, because they didn't divorce, right? They didn't annul the marriage. The second marriage doesn't count. And even in the show, I was very surprised she went to confession, and he's like, "Well, because your first husband isn't dead, the second marriage doesn't exist. Like, legally and by God, the first marriage is the only one that really matters."
Because they don't. I mean, the only reason we have divorce today is because some king just wanted the son and kept killing his wife.
Uh-huh.
But speaking of something like that, this is an older movie. Pearl Harbor. I don't know.
I don't think it's a movie.
No, okay, yeah, it's the thing that happened at Pearl Harbor, but I can't remember the exact name of the movie unless it is called Pearl Harbor. But it kind of goes over the events. Obviously, it's pretty historical, has like all the stuff. But there's like, well, obviously there's like a love drama going on in the middle of it. That way you can get audiences to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a famous actor, but I can't remember who it's called. Anyways, guy gets trying to get drafted to go. He wants to go to the war. He wants trying to sign up, but he can't read because he's a farm boy. He's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then he convinces one of the nurses to like kind of fake the documents and let him join. They fall in love. They're madly in love. I think they're engaged. I don't think they marry. Anyways, him, his buddy, the nurse, and the nurse's friends, they all go to Hawaii, to Pearl Harbor. They're stationed there. The guy, who's in love with the nurse, he takes whatever. He goes going to England to fight whatever. He's a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
He gets shot down. He's lost at sea. And then everybody's grieving because he's dead. All of her friends. And then his best friend and his fiance, girlfriend, whatever, they start consoling each other because they're the biggest losses, and then they start dating, and they're in love. Guy comes back, first guy, and then it's kind of like a whole thing. And like she's like fighting, she's like, "You were dead. I fell in love with him." And then the guys start fist fighting, and then in the end, he's just kind of like, "Whatever, I'm leaving." She finds out she's pregnant with the best friend's kid, and then like the best friend, I think, either they get close to dying. Anyways, she stays with the best friend, and the first guy has to go fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy to me.
But it's like, okay. So you're married, but essentially Rosie gets to pick. So if you marry a girl, right,
Yeah.
and she's literally like the perfect one.
Mhm.
You're married, whatever. You didn't get past the honeymoon phase, and then boom, dead. And then 5 years later, you marry another girl, and you're like getting right over the hump of the honeymoon phase, and your original wife that you thought was dead comes back. Like, who's not going back to their first wife?
I can see that. It's
like,
just a weird situation I never want to be in.
yeah, but I was just like, there's no reason, because what, you missed them for 5 years, and like the sight of them, it's just like everything's more magical, and even like, I feel like
There's also feelings of guilt too, because like the person you second love, like they don't deserve just to be like all of a sudden pushed away.
yeah, but I don't know, it's almost like, okay, I feel like a lot of people, I'm not including myself here, I'm not going to incriminate myself, because this is not how I feel, but it's like, you're like your ex. A lot of the time, it's like your first girlfriend. Let's say you've only had 2 relationships, right? You're in relationship number 2, but they were both like serious. You've had 2 serious relationships. Your first ever partner, no matter how it ended, I feel like if they were to come around in the middle of your second relationship and be like, "I want you," it wouldn't be like, "Oh no, piss off, I'm with someone else."
I mean, I would, but
well, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like most people would like have to stop and consider.
I mean, because we are good Christian children.
Mm.
A lot of people aren't, and when you do the naughty stuff, you do create a bond. Like the body's like physical, like before you're not even thinking about it, because you've seen people how they'll cheat on each other over and over again, and they keep getting back together, even though that person ruins their lives. It's because they had sex, and their bodies can't resist each other.
Yeah, but even without that, like I feel like when I was talking to someone in college, if like during the first
We kind of
year,
agree, yeah.
it was like if she were to be like, "Oh, come on," I would be like, like we have so much. There's
There was
so much history.
yeah. There's probably a good while. I don't know. Can't put a limit on it, but there was probably a good time I would have gotten back.
I mean, look at one of the late night lad members. You know what I'm saying?
Which one?
Gone but not forgotten.
Just hold on. Gone but not. You do a letter real quick. Yeah. Okay, that's who I thought we were talking about.
Yeah, and not to say that we can we can't confirm or deny if they are or are not good Christian children, but if we had to guess, we wouldn't.
Yeah. I plead the fifth.
Yeah. The
You were talking about TV shows earlier.
Yes.
The Big Bang Theory.
Never seen it.
You never seen The Big Bang? You know the characters though.
I know Sheldon.
Could you like see, if you saw them, you'd be like, oh, they were part of the Big Bang Theory.
I'd be like Bazinga.
Bazinga. That's what you do.
That's all I would say.
Who's the ugliest?
I think the guy with like almost like a bowl cut.
Yeah, he's pretty ugly, but like female wise.
I don't.
Sheldon has a relationship
I'm
with a
just gonna
nerdy
look-
woman, right?
Okay, I'm gonna look up.
Look it up real quick. She's meant to look ugly. I feel like that's like her.
So like Velma.
She's see, but people like Velma.
But Velma was arguably hotter than Daphne in like the live action movie. And if you
The
see
live
the
action
two of them now, it's like the person that played Velma aged like fine,
by
like
her, yeah.
absolute milf, dude. Okay, sorry.
Oh, look at that, yeah. But like, hold on. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, go to images. Sorry guys, give us 1 second here. Yeah, right there.
Uh huh.
I don't know how this got in this conversation, but But Danielle was kind of like, no, she's really cute, and I was like, no, she's literally anything but cute.
Okay. This might be an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I would say between these two, I would pick her because she looks like a bitchy hot girl, and she's really cute. Like actually,
But I have watched a couple episodes because Danielle likes this show. She has the most annoying voice I've ever heard.
that's a red flag.
That's yeah. It's kind of like, hi.
like okay, whenever Gwen and I are watching the TV show, she'll always start it. She'll do this a lot actually. Like we were at the Green, and she's like, "Look at that girl's ass," and it's not even a test. It's just she's astounded by like.
Is she down bad?
Sometimes she is, yeah, and she'll be like, "Look at it."
Is it more like I like the ass, or is it more like damn that's just big? It's astronomical. That shouldn't be allowed.
She'll like compliment. Like she'll be like, "Look at her boobs." But, like we were at Kings Island, and she's like, "Look at her," and I was like, "You think that's a nice ass?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so I literally did like a 360, and I said, "Look over there," and she's like, "No way, dude."
No way.
Right, but she'll do this with shows a lot because it's not like real people, right? They're just
because they're not real.
But
They're
she
cloned.
always picks the one that's a complete bitch, but she's like super hot
Yeah.
over the one that's like she's super cute and has like a really good personality, and it's like you would totally date him.
Oh yeah.
But then like we were watching Dodgeball, right? You know Dodgeball the movie? The
Yeah,
Ben
I've watched
Stiller
that with Danielle not too long ago.
And so you know how the owner of the Average Joe's Gym.
Yeah, it was an average show. Yeah.
So he's not like attractive, but looking at him, you'd be like,
He's dad material.
But you're like, he's not like ugly. You could see the appeal. He's just right. He's nice. But I don't know anyone that would say that Ben Stiller is not more attractive than that guy, right?
Yeah, Ben Stiller is like, he's a good celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like a Paul Rudd.
Yeah, but it was just like, no way, I would never pick Ben Stiller, right? It's the same thing as like, I would never pick Ryan Gosling over someone like that.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's like, why not? Like Ryan Gosling is literally hot.
Yeah.
And you're gonna pick this dude? But like Ryan Gosling doesn't even look like he's a bad dude. He looks like he'd be a fine husband material, but I guess that's not what girls want.
No, they don't care about that.
They
just care about hot Cheeto.
Hot Cheeto online. But
here, this might be a spoiler. Me and Daniel's watching House because I like House. I've watched that a few times. We just I don't know how much you've watched it.
no, I've seen some clips. Like there was a lot of disabled people, and he was like,
He was kind of going in on them.
yeah.
So I don't know if you plan on watching these with spoilers. Spoiler alert. The one episode, the first like season 4, has like 40 contestant or people who's trying to be a part of his team, and he kind of like whittles them down like you're at game show or whatever.
Yeah.
And he gets down to like this team, and one of them's kind of like he's an Indian guy, but he's like funny. He's just a goofball. He's a goon. He's an absolute goon.
What is this like a well-known actor or just like?
He was shit. What's that one movie about the White Castle?
I don't know, but when you say that there's an Indian guy that's kind of funny, I really only think of like one actor. Not to be like racist, but there's like one guy that literally has you'll recognize him. Hold on, this guy. He is literally like the only like super popular Indian comedian.
This guy, he was what's that like? Well, look at the White Castle movie. Anyways, this guy ends up. So he actually goes to work for the Obama administration. And so he has to leave the show. Can you guess how he leaves the show?
How?
Commits suicide out of nowhere.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Danielle just told me that I like him. He's really funny. I don't have the heart to tell her that in less than his season, he's blowing his fucking brains out. Wait, hold on.
It's this guy.
Yeah, Cal Penn.
Cal Penn.
Yeah.
Is he Indian?
He looks Indian. I'd say he looks it at least.
He was a former White House staff member?
Yeah, that's why he left the show.
Interesting. The guy that I was thinking about was Kumail Nanjiani. He was in a superhero movie. He's been in everything recently. But
These new crop of actors, They ain't. I don't think they ain't cutting it like they used to.
I think the superhero. Okay, so Did you watch the Spider-Man movie, the animated one?
No,
Okay, so it's probably like one of my favorite movies, just like Barnell.
I like the original one.
It was super
The
good.
new one just looked like I heard like things that it just didn't compare. I think I heard it was only good because of the hype of the first one.
I think it was better just because it was a better movie. There's a lot of character development. There was a lot of things going on, and there was a lot more like you as the viewer didn't have like as easy of a like, oh, this is clearly right, this is clearly wrong. It's like
Gray area
between the main villain and the way that everybody is split on the decision, and the way that like everybody's feelings are valid, and you just don't know where you should stand.
Yeah, I mean they've done that before though. Like just Captain America: Civil War.
No, it's just different though, because I like obviously somebody being mind control and murdering your parents, and then you're not telling your best friend that your best friend. You know.
Yeah, I mean
that's different than like.
But like the whole why they split up in the first place was like, do we want this country to control us or not?
Yeah.
And it was like just really dumb stuff that nobody cared about. And then it was kind of. I mean, did Steve really know? Did he know?
I don't know. It was super weird. I was kind of on Iron Man's side with not with the Accords, but after that, when he found out that Bucky literally killed his entire family, and then Steve.
Yeah, but everybody knows that Bucky was mind controlled.
But it's like you don't hide that. The fact that you hide that is kind of
that's like the whole thing with like all of Shield. They all just hide stuff from each other. Everything has secrets. Black Widow has secrets the entire time. She's probably killed everybody's cousin.
Dude,
I was always on Captain America's side because
Black
Iron
Widow's
Man's
sister
cool,
way
he's an
hotter
asshole.
than her, dude.
What?
Black Widow's sister is way hotter than her.
Oh, is it? You're really gonna say that about
I don't know if
can't
you'll
think of
agree
her
with
name
me.
anymore.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson?
Okay. There's Scarlett. There's his sister.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's just because Scarlett's aging.
No, I just think it's because she's hot. But that's just me.
I can see it in some pictures.
But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna fault you for it. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. You're a fucking retard.
Yeah.
Shit. We'll keep it in. Cut that.
Wait, don't you just make like a loud noise to see what it cut?
Sometimes. No. If we don't do, if we don't have too many gaps and too many more of those, I might just straight upload this tonight without editing it.
Just full on.
Full on. It's
You
so much better
should-
that way.
Oh, sorry. I'm away from the mic. I think you should put that it's uncut. But this is the Mr. C edition of the podcast. It's sort of like I'm trying to think. Like Call Me Carson was like huge and he was a streamer. No. I think a better example was like Vanoss Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Vanoss was like huge. Like you're Mr. C. And Vanoss is like Mr. C, and then like everyone liked H2O Delirious when they like, but he had no individual success. It was just like
through Vanoss.
Yeah, but like even after it was like everyone was there for Vanoss and like really liked it when he was there, but they didn't care enough about him.
It's kind of. Do you watch Soviet Womble?
No.
He was pretty funny. He uploads like once every 3 months. But it's usually pretty good. But a lot of people like someone called Cyanide Epic, I think it is, or it's just Cyanide.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, he's a funny Indian guy that makes a bunch of racist jokes, and everybody like loves him. So the thing was come for Soviet, stay for Cyanide.
Oh, but it's like it's me. I'm your unofficial partner at the Mr. C.
Pretty much. You're in like
Headquarters.
at least half the videos.
Because it's like
By the
Every-
way, sorry. In case you guys are curious, I have been streaming under the name Mr. C. If you feel free to watch some bad content in gaming,
we've been doing a lot of Easter eggs though. I will say.
which is not getting the views really.
Yeah, but I don't know. We're having fun.
I would rather have fun.
We could try a new game though. I don't want to.
Spend money.
Yeah. Well, okay. Like in general.
Yeah,
I don't
in
like-
general.
Because okay, even with like I have to buy a new phone case, right? And I really don't want to, but it's like I now have to make a decision, and so I'm probably gonna spend like the next week figuring out what to do. But like with games, you can watch it all you want. You don't know if it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you could spend $40 on something, and you're just like, nah, it sucks.
But you don't want to spend. Halo and Master Chief Collection is a great game without the really fun mod pack, which you haven't even got close to what that game can offer.
But it's like $50.
Now it is. We told you to get at when it was 10. That's a fifth of the price.
And when I looked, when you said it was 10, it wasn't 10 anymore.
Ryan put it in the group chat a while ago.
I missed the sale. I know that. Yeah. I would have spent $10 on it because I own it on Xbox, but I can't get the mods or anything for it.
You might be able to, but it's a fucking hassle. I try because I played Cursed Halo on not the Xbox, but the Windows app or whatever it's called, Windows. And you have to like go through the folders. You have to delete, and then like it always like resets. It's just a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, I can see it. So like where I'm at right now is like we've played all of like the notable custom maps, even the one that just came out, the Iron
Dragon. I want to say, and even another one. It's like an Origins. Yeah, I watched Mr. T Lexify. He's kind of a funny. He's a very sociable guy like you, to be honest. But he plays zombies maps. He just did I can't remember what the map's called, but it's kind of like they call it a love letter to Origins.
Oh,
I watched it. I mean it's pretty interesting how you can fly into like the blimp and you do stuff. I don't know if we might play it.
I have a lot of maps that like we've never touched. There's like, no, we went to one time, but it's like they're sort of playing off like the World at War and Black Ops 1 era of zombies, where it's like, you know, you're in an abandoned theater or like the Battle of the Bulge and stuff like that. Like the maps look good, but there's no telling how good the Easter egg is, and it's technically not like a super original idea. So
and like also like even if the map looks good, doesn't mean it's gonna function well either.
Yeah, so it's weird, but we're sort of like at our last one, because even this one was just like a last minute decision to even play it because we beat all the other Easter eggs.
I might have a couple in there that we could do, but even then. Well, one zombies just. I mean, after a while, you just get bored of like any game you play for a while, you're just gonna get burnt out on it.
Mm-hmm. It's like I'm debating because we could go and like, oh, we're just gonna get good at Siege, but nobody wants to see that.
I mean, people do, but they only want to see people who are like actually good. They want to see the Diamond players. We're not going to be Diamond anytime.
Yeah, nobody wants to see us be bad and like have fun because we're just
Siege is too competitive just to have fun with.
Yeah, and I mean we don't care. Maybe Noah does.
Noah would try for
but
getting the good stuff.
I'm not good enough. Part of it's controller. I just don't play on it enough anymore because I used to only play a Black Ops on controller, and then literally the only thing
to the keyboard and mouse is kind of like fuck.
It was literally because I could shoot faster on the mouse. That was the only reason.
I mean, with this shit, it's like the perfect hybrid.
$250. Is that what it was?
I forget, but that sounds like the right price.
It's so weird. Like, money stuff. Okay, so, like, I got my car, and the boot was, like, ripped. So I had to buy a new boot.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, it takes about 20 minutes of work to get the boot out. And then the manual tranny is, like, exposed. So at that point, since I'm doing the work, I could put in a short throw shifter because it feels a lot nicer, and then get like a weighted shift knob. And so I spent, I'm trying to think, $75 on the thing, $30 for the boot, $160 for the knob. So I put a lot of money in literally just a stick for my car.
Yeah.
But it's like I touch it all the time and I really like it. And like even other car people that surprisingly they'll hear my car and then they'll be like, I want to look inside of it. Because they're like, it doesn't look like a car that anyone should be interested in. I was just like, thank you.
Sleeper cars?
Yeah. Yeah. Like the guy at AutoZone owns like this really cool old STI. And he heard my car. He's like, that's the kind of car that we'll walk outside looking for and we won't find. And I was just like, sick. But they were like feeling it. They're like, oh, it feels great. Like, did it come like this? I was like, no. I spent $300 on that little part right there.
Right there.
Yeah, and nobody can tell. Except for me. But it's like for me, it's worth it because I touch it all the time. But like that $250 that you spent on that little mouse thingy would not be worth it for me.
I use it every goddamn night, pretty much at this point.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know.
But like, I mean, I'm not in school anymore, so I don't have to make all these payments and stuff. I live cheaply because I only get charged $500 for rent. I don't pay any utilities, so I can save more money, and like I get a paycheck, and I'm kind of looking at it. I'm like, here's what I need. Here's what I need to save. I have all this extra stuff. I'm like, why not? I haven't bought anything for a month. Why not buy that?
Yeah, for me, it's like because I've been out of work for a little bit, moving and trying to figure it out, and the person that was supposed to hire me on just dropped the ball and got lazy, so I paid the price for that. But it's like paying for a wedding and paying for school fees and like living in the city wouldn't have been that much like more because the pay was enough more from what I was doing before, but now it's just not. But I will say Gwen said that she's like, because of her dad, she's like really good at budgeting and all that stuff. But she was like, I was always gonna put room in the budget for like projects, but like for me, because I'll get really fixated on something and like want to work on it. But then when I'm limited by my cash flow and I can't work on it, it like only makes it worse. Because it gives me more time to look into what I want to do and then add to the docket what I want to get done before I'm satisfied with it.
Yeah.
And then it just makes it more and more expensive. Like my car, I was going to have enough money to like do some of the things I wanted, like get some wheels for it, make it look nice, and maybe do some things for like a little bit of it goes fast. Now there's like a folder on my computer of like everything that I wanted to do, and it is not cheap. Like a 4-pack of wheels is like $1,000 for the rims, and then you have to get the tires, so that's another $700.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like the suspension, another $500 for the full set, and then brakes because you got to be safe, but that's like another $800. And then there's the air intake because it makes it sound good and it makes it faster. That's like another $200. And then I have a little turbo, and there's this thing. It's the stupidest thing, but it's so cool. It it's a blow off valve, and it goes pew, and it sounds sick. $250. And it's like I was like, man, this isn't bad. But then you just do it, and it's really expensive. Just like what, $200 there, $300 there, like it's fine.
Yeah, and then it all adds up, right?
Yeah, it just adds up instantly.
Yeah.
The most expensive thing, I can get a tune on my car. Like just download this file, and it will increase the power by 30%, which is insane. It literally, because Ford made the RS, and it's the exact same car, but it's a Ford. And that thing's got like 500 horsepower. Mine has like 250.
Yeah.
You literally just download the Ford program.
Boom.
500 horsepower, baby.
That's just weird how all that shit works.
It's literally just like timing and fuel consumption. That's it.
It's just weird how like you got this. You just weird to think that would go into a car that's just so mechanical. And it's like, oh yeah, I just need to type in this code. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing that for?
Yeah, it's kind of scientific because you look at the curves and where power is being limited, and you're like, okay, let's see what parts of the car are sort of limiting that, and then you can be like, okay, change out the intake and the intercooler and this, and then you're good. And then it's just like insane because like. That's the last thing to do, because if I were to tune my car now, right, I'd spend the $800, and then if I replace one thing, it is no longer putting out prime amount of power, and that one thing could add like another 30 horsepower, maybe. So you just gotta wait till the very end.
Yeah.
So it'll look fast, and then it will sound fast before it is fast. This is the best part.
Crazy.
Yeah. Though Gwen knows how to drive a manual, and it's pretty safe.
I started driving manual not terribly long ago. I just got fed up with it. I'm like, fuck this. It's just annoying.
I think it's kind of fun when you got a little guy to whip around.
You know.
She hates her car.
I was driving my mom's Jeep.
I want to drive that thing, but she'll never trust me. Even though I daily a manual, she'll never trust me to drive it.
Again, you just always wrong place, wrong time. You just
because
do stupid
I
shit.
drew on your shirt with a highlighter in 6th grade.
Yeah, she just bought me that. She's always just fed up with my antics too.
But I was like, I was in 6th grade, my guy.
Why'd you do it?
I don't remember.
You were 12 years old. You had a brain on your shoulders.
Well, yeah, but I probably didn't think that. I thought it was either, if I were to guess,
Yeah.
it was either I got the wrong side of the marker, or I was gonna be like, ooh, I almost did it, and then I actually.
I remember exactly what was happening at the time. I was trying to play my trombone, and you were sitting next to me, and you were like, "Can I draw in your sweatshirt?" And I'm like, "I don't." She's like, "Go away, I don't care." And I was trying to do it, and you're like, "All right, you fucking did it."
I don't know, man. But she shouldn't be that upset about it now. It's literally been like 10 years plus. Also,
now it just might be a joke. It's like, how you drawing this fucking sweatshirt? I don't trust you.
she got mad about the ranch dressing. I shat on Wishbone ranch dressing so fucking hard because Gwen got it, right? Because she used our Hidden Valley ranch dressing, and so she replaced it with Wishbone because it's the cheapest one. And literally, my roommates are like, "Who the fuck bought Wishbone?" Like they adjourned a meeting, just like, "Oh, okay, who the fuck got this?"
Oh yeah, Wishbone.
And
To be honest, I don't give a fuck about ranch. Ranch is ranch.
okay, I tried it, and it was just like, "Fuck, this is bad." I was like,
what? No, it's not.
No.
I've ate it. It's fine.
But okay, we're like, is it expired? And my roommate's like, no, it's just fucking Wishbone. And we're like, no way. So
They took a taste test.
so they literally exchanged it for a brand new one, and then bought a thing of Hidden Valley, and it just tasted like shit. Like I hate Wishbone because of one mistake that my fiance did at the store instead of buying it in Hidden Valley, and it sucks, dude. But she
No,
was
it doesn't. It's not. You just get hit on too much.
she was not happy. She kept putting my Hidden Valley back and giving me Wishbone.
It's better. I was like my mom just cause.
Wishbone's like the blue cheese of ranch dressing.
No. That makes no sense.
Yeah, you know how blue cheese is like shit compared to ranch dressing?
Because it's something different, yeah.
Wishbone is just like shit.
I'm
You know?
not saying either one's bad.
That's
it's
where
not
I
bad.
stand.
Okay.
At least with my personal experience.
You could experience that. You know what? I'm done being nice. Fuck you.
Whoa.
Yeah. I just want to say something.
Would you?
What? Would I have sex with a dog? No.
What a good segue. What else is on the dog? The submarine.
Oh yeah. You were talking about her family being rich. I was about to segue that into millionaires on the submarine. I've heard a couple things about it. I've heard one. There's the fact that I mean, they were in a really shitty submarine and the Logitech controller lost power or something. I don't know. But the one guy's son was going to a Blink 182 concert, and he's like, "Nah, I'm still going to go." And everybody's like, "Well, aren't you grieving?" This is how I grieve. I'm going to a Blink 182 concert. And then I don't know if there was a kid on the submarine or he refused to, but he said like, "I'm scared, I don't want to go." But since it was his dad, he got like pressured onto it.
Yeah, the kid was on the submarine.
Yeah, and I guess he didn't want to at first, but then he's like, "Oh, it's for my dad's birthday. I should go."
Well, okay, the thing was, the only person that knew what he was doing was fired because the guy literally said it doesn't look like as inspirational if a 50-year-old white dude is doing it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "This shit's not gonna work." And then he's like, "Stop saying that shit. You're fired. I'm gonna do it my way." And it was just like, the submarine was built so poorly that instead of having like a lot of backup shit, it literally they showed like when you heat up a can and then put it in ice water, and it literally it just crumbled into a ball like instantly and killed everybody. Like that's how they died.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, how do you mess that up so bad?
Yeah, I think it was just pretentious white men, but I think it's blown out of proportion. Because I think, my theory, right? There's a bunch of stuff going on with Hunter Biden again on his stuff with his trials and shit. I think this is just a good segue for people, for the media to be like, "Hey, look at this submarine incident. Everybody go, everybody's blowing this up."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like accidents happen a lot out there that we rarely hear about, but this is for some reason blew up.
I think it was because there were so many notable people on the boat, and it was just like such an avoidable thing.
Yeah.
But also, because normally how it goes is you have like manual controls on the hull, and then you have like somebody controlling it from afar. But to have a fucking video game controller, and then it just dies, and you're like, "Oh shit! I guess I forgot to charge the batteries. Now we're literally gonna die." It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's so dumb.
It's just like you're a billionaire and you were able to make $1 billion and you can't think ahead.
It's probably most likely is they have that much money. They think they're invincible.
I suppose. There's also Mark Zuckerberg and what's his name? Twitter guy. Elon
That's
Musk.
Zuckerberg. Oh yeah, yeah. Facebook's. Yeah.
They're gonna go in a cage fight.
Oh, that's funny.
Zuckerberg's gonna win.
You think he's like hidden?
Now he like boxes all the time. He's fit.
Oh,
And he's also like literally a lizard man robot.
yeah, literally. So he is like he's dexterity maximum. I watched. I don't know how I got onto this conversation topic in my head. There's a documentary on Hulu, or I think it was Hulu, about people disappearing in the forests. And at first, it's kind of like this guy wrote like a very long book about all of them, and they just took a few out just to talk about it for this documentary stuff. There's some whack shit in there. Like it really makes you think. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like they'll be set up and like so they can all find each other, and then all of a sudden this old guy disappeared, and they'll look for like months. They'll scomb every single part of the forest, never found. And then there's like one guy who just for some reason instead of going back towards his camp, just went this way, and then just kept. He traveled like hundreds of miles with like in a day, like way farther than he should be, and through the mountains. They found all of his clothes torn up, and then he was just sitting in some guy's backyard. The guy tried to phone the police, went inside, and he was gone. He never found again.
That's so weird.
It's just weird shit that makes like I know like a lot. I don't know how much obviously what's true, what's not true.
It reminds me like because people were taking like actual like people getting lost in the woods. Like I remember reading like Slenderman's real because like that shit's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kids are going into the woods because they're describing like we're gonna go, and some of it was really weird because I don't know if it was true or not, but like what I was reading it's sort of like girls were like I'm gonna go because he's calling me in there, like I want to make him happy.
That was like
then,
a whole thing. That's why they made a movie about it.
And it was like, and then they just disappeared, and I don't know, like presumably it's just like a guy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still like the way they described him sounds exactly like the weird figure that everyone has like
Made up.
yeah, but it was like before that was even a thing, because there was a game and like stories and stuff written about him, but that was like they weren't even well known before.
I thought the girls inspired the shit.
I think so, but it's just so weird. Like it's so eerie.
Funny enough, so one of the documentary, like the one of the last ones they talk about, was in Akron, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like two part. That's why it's so like weird because two things happened at the same time, in two different areas in Akron. So there was this lady who was out in like in the blinds. You know, she was like had her gun up. She was sitting up in a tree, and she saw like you use the Predator movies for how they had go invisible. She saw something like that moving across the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think some other stuff happened. I think she said something happened. Like she almost died or something. I think, but then like over across the other way, there was a band kids all standing out, and like there was a ball of floating, and like it didn't like it just stood there. It stared at them for a while. Like I think they had like got a bunch of feelings, and like it just took off.
Mm.
That was like the weirdest one because two strange things happened like within minutes of each other.
It's like I don't know those types of things, and like the sentiment. There's a story. I guess I don't know if it's like a folklore or like supposedly true or whatever, but like it happened in Japan, I want to say. And so somebody made this comic about it, but like it's on a website and you just like scroll through the panels.
Mhm.
But once you get to a certain panel, you hear like the sound of a neck snapping and like 50 slides move like instantly like a video.
That's what you're showing me and Preston at when we see the night for old Soul That was exactly it.
But it scared the shit out of me because it just like it turns around and zooms in on the face really fucking fast,
Uh-huh.
and the sounds and clicks, and also the environment of it's a website, and you're just scrolling through a story. Like it scared the shit out of Gwen.
That
when
scared
showed
me
it.
when I was yeah.
Like it's just like fucked up that somebody would do that. And the guy has a couple that he's
Well, I
made
mean,
now.
people do it because they get bored and think it's cool.
But I mean, like it fucking worked. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't manga stuff. It was just like a fucking horror thing, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is.
Yeah, you showed me
Crazy.
the person. I'm like, why the fuck did you do that?
We got to sleep Nick in front of Captain Spencer's.
Yeah.
So we were safe. We had Captain Spencer watching over us.
Yeah, it's easy to like with this supernatural stuff. Like either like you have two ways to say like, oh, this must be true, or oh, these all people are lying. But then you always find that one person that had it, and like it's not somebody you think would lie, and it's like, fuck, why would that person lie to me? They have nothing to gain from it.
There's
There's
also
someone
like I don't know, because I watched. There's a show called BuzzFeed Unsolved. And I started
Yeah.
watching them because it's like true crime, and I was like, oh, this stuff's sick. And then they did like the paranormal stuff, and some of theirs is like
There's always some. Yeah, it's.
even with, like, okay, so like Shane is just like, oh, this is bullshit,
Mhm.
and the other guy like truly believes it. Like I guess they have motive to fake it, but it's like, why would? Because if they did, then I feel like Shane would just say something. Like
Yeah.
they don't seem like the type of people where they would just like let it slide. And enough shit happened where it's like very questionable. Like, is it just a coincidence like all these times, or is it just they're filming it and they're lying the whole time and they're just good
Oh,
at
yeah.
acting? But
There was a show, Achievement Hunter. So Achievement Hunter had like a spin-off show
yeah,
called Achievement Haunter, and it's kind of like their thing was they antagonize the ghosts. They go in there, they just fucking cuss them out. They do whatever. This is disrespectful. We're gonna go do that. And like I think the one guy he ends up having like a claw mark across his back, and he's like, I don't know this. It was like three lines, like the whole demon thing or whatever it is. And I think like they have like footage of, like the entire like filming crew, all the 100 people were threatening to quit and leave and like get the fuck out of there. They were like there was like it was you can't really fake that. It was like people were pissed and they wanted to go home. It was like, no, we're not doing this. I think the director then was kind of like, we came here to find a fucking ghost, and now one shows up, you're not fucking leaving.
that's crazy. Is that I don't know if it's like a fake thing or if it's Achievement Hunter, but there's like this guy that's like yelling at the spirits and just making fun of them.
I mean, they say maybe. I feel like it's not an original concept, but
It's some of the most wild shit that's ever been said to anybody. It was like said by this dude. Yeah, like Shane did that all the time too, but it was just like I don't even know. It's like you wouldn't say that someone is alive. This dude's just yelling it.
I got a coworker. He is not like he's not a good Christian child at all whatsoever. He wears a cross. I'm like, the fuck you're also religious too, you're not really Christian. He's like, I'm not religious at all. But fucking spirits freak me the hell out. I wear this because I want God to protect me when I need him the most, and that's the only reason.
That's so stupid. That's not how it works.
No. He just needs protection from the ghosts.
There was there's a couple. I don't know if they're. I'm probably far away. I don't know if they're like edited or what, but they're seemingly like Ring cameras,
Yeah.
and like it's just posted on TikTok.
Mhm.
But like, there's this dude that was like, oh, he was filming on his phone, and there were like all these alarms going off, and this huge like it looked like an apartment complex that was like a skyscraper, okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so it was black, and you just see like these white lights shining, and then like the alarms are going off, and he went into like the security room to turn it off, and then like the door that he just opened up slammed shut. And so he fixes the fuses, and it opens up and slams shut like 50 times in 30 seconds. And he just like rips open the door and runs out of there. Like while the alarms are still going off. And it was like super fucking freaky, but he's just like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you fake that shit? How do you fake a door closing that many times that fast? Given all
there
that
might
stuff.
be a way, but I don't know.
It's hard.
I could not survive in that situation. I don't play horror games that's not even really a horror game. That's just a spooky game, if anything. Like, I've been playing Half-Life Alyx on VR. It's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
The very first zombie that busts through the glass, just like a jump scare, they break through. I freaked out and I started cussing. It's like out of reflex, mag dumps into him. I was just like, oh fuck, and like, I clench up and I get pissed. I start breathing heavily. I cuss. I'm like, fuck. I get mad. I can't do it.
I've been in, because you know the Wagner factory.
Yeah.
I've been to that a couple times, and one time was at night, and I was in there twice at night. One time we went in there, and there was like a fucking security officer, and he like starts cussing at us and yelling at us, and we left immediately.
Yeah.
But another time we were just walking through there, and there was a lot of shit happening that was not like okay. Like there were no people in there, so we left. We also broke into the, what is it? It's like that train station.
Yeah.
But that was also creepy.
I think there's some of it that you think just probably just your mind messing with you, but I don't know. Like when you're in those situations, like the slightest thing that sets you off, you amplify it like 1,000 times. But I feel like there's always stuff you can't explain. I want it to be explained. I don't want supernatural shit to exist.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last thing I want.
It's like you met Gunner.
Yeah.
You know he's not spooked by like anything. Like he's a pretty hard city kid.
Yeah.
So we were going to the spot to like, he wanted to spray something and go into like some abandoned structures, and we were just walking, like he cut some fence wire and stuff. Okay,
mm-hmm.
We were about to walk into one of the buildings, but there were like these brick walls that were broken down. He like ripped me over the wall and like covered my mouth, and he was gripping me really fucking hard.
Mm.
And he is just like, we're leaving, right? Like he looked worried, so like I knew something was up. So we start to leave, and they're like, you can see a police chopper, and then he starts flashing the spotlight in the area, and like we didn't get spotted, but he's like, I heard a fucking gun being loaded, and like the police were chasing after somebody because like we left and that spotlight did not move, but he was just like, somebody had a fucking gun, and I heard that metal clanking because they were getting ready, and I was just like, that shit was fucking terrifying. Like we ran.
Oh yeah.
But it was just like, holy shit, that was so scary. Because like he was not having a good time, and normally he's just like, oh yeah, but when someone like that scared, it's just like, you just don't.
Yeah, you listen. Damn, that'd be awful.
It was
like,
fun.
It's like.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit to hear gun too. I mean, like the springs and the.
It's pretty distinctive sound.
I didn't hear shit. I'm glad you did.
He's very perspective. I heard you were talking to you told a story how like even like in the pitch like night of like going in night like 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock whatever, you can like down the road like 100 yards away you can tell whether or not it's a cruiser or not.
I can do that too, low-key. Which is pretty bad. It's not necessarily a good skill to have, but I saw on the way here there was a highway patrolman in an F-150.
An F-150?
Yeah.
It wasn't a sheriff's officer?
No, it was silver with the highway patrolman badge on it.
Really? That's weird.
It was really weird.
I've only seen the Chargers.
Yeah, me too. But it's like we were cruising at night, and I started slowing down. Melissa's like, "What's happening?" And I said, "That's a trooper." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "That's a cop." She's like, "You can't even see any of they're bad. There was no lights." I was like, "It's a cop." And so we follow him into town, and she saw that it was a police officer. He was like a mile ahead of us. I was just like, "There it is. It's a police officer." I should not be able to tell a cop from that far. It's a bad. I mean, it's a good skill to have. But it's like
it's a skill. Whether or not it's good or bad, it depends on where you lie morally.
I got pulled over in my own driveway, right?
Oh yeah.
I was driving through
OSU,
here.
Oh really?
So in Easton, where I live, it's like the speed limit's 45. People go 60.
Yeah, happens.
But it's like you hit a yellow light, and you could be probably 2 car lengths away from the start of the intersection, going the speed limit, and like make it through. You're fine.
Yeah.
It was a yellow light. I was half a car length away from the start of the intersection, and I went through it, because I'm not slowing down from
No.
35 to 0. And so I get 70% of the way through and it turns red. And this is the light, right, literally just pulled into my house. And
Yeah.
this dude fucking speeds. You hear tires screeching. I'm like, who the fuck's about to crash? And then there's a cruiser, and he gets out of his car. He's like, come here now. He's like, the end of the road. I don't know if they're allowed to come onto your property and give you a ticket.
I don't think. I think they might be able to. It's weird.
But I don't think they want to, because he had me basically walk to the part that was public domain when I got on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
But
he might just not want to pull in for, I don't know, maybe safety reasons. That'd be weird. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just like, it's super weird. But he's like, you were really in a hurry to get through that stoplight. And I was like, it turned red while I was going through it, but I mean, I couldn't control that. He's like, oh, I have you on the camera. You're going through when it was green for me. And I'm like, well, there's just no fucking way that the light turned green the second that mine turned red. That's not how it goes. It's not just like, bink. And he was like, no, it happened. And he's like, what's the rush? I'm like, there's no rush. I've been living in Columbus, and yellow lights are probably about 5 times longer than that. I don't, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, welcome to Anna. I'm going to let you off with a warning. I was just like, fuck off, dude. Like, it's a fucking yellow light. You know who else was there? You. That was fucking it. Like, there was nobody in imminent danger at all. And you're gonna pull me over in my own driveway?
Yeah, they're not going to do nothing.
It was just, a trooper let me off with a warning. I was kind of surprised,
A
but...
trooper? That's fucking rare.
And then in Columbus, the next day, I ran by accident. Like, there's one time, because we were looking for a place to park.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really paying attention. There was no cars in front of me. I was just, like, looking. And the light, like, fully turned red. And then I just passed through the intersection. There was a police officer.
Yeah.
There was a police just sitting there. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I
Yeah,
completely ran that. And you just see him go, whoop. He just goes. And I think part of the reason is because the lights take so long to change from red to green. And he probably didn't know.
You thought you were still on yellow?
Probably.
Maybe. Sometimes maybe it's just not worth just like
I was like,
pulling
he
over and
does
stopping.
not give a shit. I have never been pulled over by a Columbus cop. I've probably accidentally ran 4 or 5 red lights in front of them too. Just doing the thing. I'll be going 60, 65 in that 40, 45 area, and I've never gone slower than 80 miles an hour on 270, despite any of the areas.
You know what I've done twice that really surprises me? Because remember, when you're driving, you're just kind of like on autopilot mode. I will get to a red light, and it'd be luckily they're pretty abandoned, and I need to turn left. I'll stop at the red light, look both ways, and just turn left, even though it's a red light.
I've done this shit all the time. You know, right next to Menards.
Yeah.
Fucking run that shit all the time by accident. Because I would just like stop and turn left.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like...
That should be a stop sign.
Because I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, whoops. Sorry about it. That's so weird. I think that those intersections should turn into flashing yellows.
Flashing yellows would help a lot. There's quite a few places in. The one I think the light that you not ran, but I think that doesn't need to really be there.
Yeah, I mean, like, during traffic, yes.
Yeah.
But I think yield signs are fine, because there's no amount of traffic where they're going to treat it anything like a stop sign. And it's like, with a yield sign, you're not going to just run it.
You know what's a really dumb stop sign?
What?
The one on my road about...
Yeah, I ran that in front of...
every day.
In front of...
my roommate's parents, who happens to be law enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
I run it every goddamn day. If I'm coming the other way, I'll just do a U right there in that intersection.
Mm-hmm. Then you don't stop?
No, I'm already in the middle of the intersection.
It's just weird. Because you should only have one stop sign on the only road that intersects it.
Yeah. There's no reason for it should be a 3-way stop.
Yeah.
Dumb.
It is dumb. Well, Christian, it is a super late night lad special today.
Oh my, how long have we been recording? An hour 30.
That's long, even for us.
There's a lot more ghost talk than I thought there was gonna be.
Yeah, me too.
Well, Thanks for joining us. I think I might straight upload this. I don't think it really needs so much editing. I don't think it needs any editing.
I don't know.
No, not really many quiets, but it was like maybe a couple seconds here and there.
I don't think anybody watches or comments on these, but if anybody feels like they like the calming nature of only having maybe a third person there for conversation rather than a bunch of people.
It's not a late night live vibe. I think that we were originally going for. Maybe every now and then won't be too bad.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we do a Mississippi podcast.
If we didn't introduce it, I might just put the podcast on the channel.
Just to see.
Yeah. I mean, might as well put it as many places as possible.
That's facts.
Alright, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening all the way through if you did. Sounds good.